I'm half owner of Bodycraft Tattoos at Belmont. Been tattooing roughly for 20 years, off and on. Been in the industry, loving it and still love it. I actually got started in a little country town called Harden, outback hick town. Had a son come home with a home job. My eldest boy came home with a home job done with a cassette gun. And the only way to make it look anything was to play with the cassette gun, get it running right and start tattooing it. So that's exactly what I did. From that it became a chronic addiction where I would have my leg up in front of the mirror tattooing myself. And it grew from there. Yeah, opened a shop in Harden, typical country little town, where all the pensioners took petitions up with the church to close the evil tattoo shop back in those days. You know, they'd even walk across the road to venture away from the shop, and so they're walking in front of it. Yeah, so it started back in the heyday of the Big Prejudice tattoo, and just grown shop to shop. We played gypsies a lot through our life and moved to different areas with the kids. Anthony went westward eventually and opened his own out there. We've sort of now got to the point where at Belmont, this has been here for 2 years now, this shop, we're not moving. This is where we'll retire and die here, enjoy life. So yeah, this is the last move. We're just continuing tattooing. 20 years, it's the concepts of people's prejudice. When I was a kid growing up, now I didn't get my tattoo till over 25, first tattoo till probably 25, 26. My folks would have killed me. Don't come home, they're evil. You're either a druggo or the only way it was accepted was if you're in the Navy. Whereas now, it's the guys, there's no concept of the guys. People still judge you as, oh, he looks like a crim or he doesn't look like a crim. It doesn't have to be by tattoos, it can be a bald head. It's your haircut, it's the beard, you know. I look like a biker. Whereas women have actually changed the concept of tattooing because it's so trendy and fashionable. It's in all the magazines thanks to all the Miami inks and LA inks to make it trendy. That's what's changed all the older generation, and fortunately a lot of our grandparents are dying. So that's a good start. That helps stop that prejudice too. A few old artists, Dutchie at Liverpool, used to see a lot of his work. It was very coarse and very deep, but it was old school Dutchie. It was back in the days where tattoo needles were still made out of SS12 sewing machine needles, and hand soldered together. There was no technology, it was just old school tattooing done the old way. Dave Rand did a bit of work on me. Arms at the cross has done a little bit, but 90% of the work has been done by myself. It's one of those things that when you become a tattooist, for some reason, the primal urge is to, oh, I've got spare skin, can I fit something else in? Can I keep tattooing? It's nice to get someone else to tattoo you, but it's still nice to tattoo yourself. So yeah, it's feed the addiction is probably the first couple of years of the tattooist. And then I found the more tattooing I was doing on other people, the less time I got to do on myself. So then it was nice to have one of my sons do a piece on me, or Anthony do some work on me. Now I'm letting James start some bits and pieces on me, so that's the stepping stone through. My wife's even tattooed me. I've had my granddaughter tattoo me. So, you know, it's all those special things that are in tattooing, and it's good because we're a family business. It's a wholesome business. We're not affiliated with any shops, but we welcome the guys who are in the clubs. Just that the patches and the attitudes stay outside the shop. We're here to do tattoos and do artwork, and from there that's where we roll on every day, day to day. Tattooing wise, I like to tattoo all styles. My favourite styles would be black work. I like portraits. I do like the dark side of tattooing. I like skulls. As you can see, everything about me is skulls and evil, and not that I'm into anything satanic and, you know, dance, Hail Mary and all this kind of evil shit, but it's a lot of character. You can put so much effort into a skull, and it doesn't matter how many times you tattoo a skull, every skull can be different. It's hard to say that with a lot of forms of tattooing. An anchor's always an anchor, a snake's always a snake. So I like to, if I can, do realism and stuff. Skulls you can put realism in and change it, and just by doing black work, make it something special. If the customer wants a colour piece, you can do the black work portrait piece first, turn it into a colour piece, and it just jumps out again. So tattooing has progressed so much. I couldn't do that when I first started. Shading wasn't the same. The guys who are at the forefront of doing that were only just starting to experiment with black works, and I guess the Americans sort of led the way with that stuff. I like a lot of German artists because the German artwork, a lot of it's dark, but only they're using black and white as a format for the whole picture. It's like a black and white photo. Sometimes a black and white photo shows more character than a colour. And I guess that's the way I look at my tattooing. If they want colour, I'll go the one step forward. I'm Japanese, on that sort of style, and bright stuff, new school, it's fine. But my favourite would be black work pieces, only because that's the forefront of definition. Then when you add the colour, it's a secondary thing to me. I think that the way we're heading, everyone is going to accept tattooing. There won't be any prejudice. I'm hoping it doesn't turn into a laser printer that straps onto your arm and punches you out in 50 seconds. But you've got to have the quality of art, and you've got to be an artist to a point. You could be a tattooist and be a good copier, but rub that stencil off halfway. If you're not an artist, you can't tattoo, and you can't finish the tattoo. And I think that's the part that is getting better. There's so many good guys coming into the industry who can draw before they can tattoo. So the art itself is getting more defined, more detailed, and with technology, the needles not being the old SS12s and the old sharps with the eyes on, now a liner that was a single and going into the skin very deep, as opposed to now is a 7 needle that's going in 1/10 the distance, so it doesn't spread the same. The inks are far better, they don't turn black and blue. And I can remember stories of them actually talking about the sailors at the wharfs when they caught the squids, actually wringing them out and sieving them, and then they process that for the original inks. We're a long way from that with carbon. I think in 20 years time tattooing might become obsolete because there might be computers doing it, but if you walk in and you say to the computer, look, I don't want that snake, I want it to look real, the computer's fucked. That's the difference. And I think a good artist is what makes the tattoo in the end. It's not so much the tattoo, it's how the artist puts it in the skin. And it's the same with James, with my son Anthony, with my wife. When we all do tattoos, it's what they put into it. It can be a simple little butterfly, but if you put a little bit more shade and a little bit more effort into it, that's where it goes. We try to do that here, where we put the extra work into it. As you were saying before, when you asked James about, why should people go to him? Well, James is a young bloke trying to learn, and he puts his heart and soul into everything he learns to try and do his best for you, the customer. Anthony, my son, is the same. He puts his best into trying to do the best tattoo he can on their skin for them and for himself. And I think that's where tattooing's become much better. There's a lot of tattooists who are Miami Ink and I will only do this and I will only do that, but it's a shame that they aren't artists and can do all forms of art, which is what an artist is. They can do art and then they'll have their specialties. We here try to do all that and keep the customer happy and not charge them $1 million in the process either. Look, apart from that, if you're interested in a tattoo, we here will all do the best job we can to draw it up, to try and interpret your definitions of what you want. And there has been times where we've redrawn stuff 7 or 8 times for the customer. We get it right in the end, and it's very rare. I can't remember when we had a customer walk out of the shop who didn't have a beaming smile on their face or wasn't happy. And I'm not talking about the dickhead who got a tribal piece and went swimming at the surf the next day and got sunburned. I'm talking about people who came in for real tattoos and who said, okay, I'm going to look after it because I want this tattoo. I haven't had anyone unhappy. And that's, in a lot of years, that's the way it goes. And I expect the same from James if he's doing it as an apprenticeship. My son Anthony, I expect the same, and I have no reservations. If someone walks in and they say, look, I'd like to have Greg, or I will say, it doesn't matter which one of us do it, you will get the best job. And that's the way it works. It's the same with Heather doing the cosmetic. She does eyeliner, she does all that stuff. So if women come in and they get a tattoo on their arm, for say, they can also get their eyeliner done at the same time. And we have plenty of old guys that come in who are in their late 60s, 70s to get the old sailor stuff covered up. So we now do skin camouflaging and skin colouring over the old sailor tattoos so that we can redo brand new tattoos again. So it's all changing and evolving into, I would never have thought when I was a kid, my grandfather at 70 going into a tattoo shop to get his first tattoo. And we've had them 71, 76, I think 81. was the eldest, and that was a gentleman that had been hanging onto a piece of paper from 1940 something out of the Sydney Herald with a picture of a bear's head, and was waiting for his goddamn mother to die so he could get a tattoo. I mean, when does that happen anymore? You know, and that's the difference. That's how much this has all changed. It's a good thing now. People don't shun upon us, you know. Women will come into the shop and feel comfortable because we're not putting out that stereotype rough thing with all the Harleys out the front and drugs and the whole. It's about the art now. And people are actually starting to see that no matter what form it is, whether it be cosmetic, whether it be tattooing, whether it be tattoo removal, whatever it is, it's becoming more professional. The business isn't full of backyarders. And yay backyarders, you make us lots of money. Keep it going, guys. My name's Greg from Bodycraft. Check it out, Tattooing TV. That's the one.